Hello and welcome to another episode of Weekly Album Review, the show in which I review the albums that I listened to during the week. And the first album I listened to was the Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. This is the American version of their debut album, and it's mainly covers. They do a cover of Buddy Holly's Not Fade Away, a great version of Route 66, and also Chuck Berry's Carol, which is good. The great song that they wrote on this was Tell Me, which is a very nice sounding one. Yeah, it's mainly fast blues, this album. Yeah, it's got Gene Pitney plays piano on one of the tracks, and Phil Spector plays maracas. And also Ian Stewart plays piano and organ on the album. Yeah, so it's a great debut album, a lot of high energy. That's the Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. That came out in 1964. And another debut album, this one's Love by Love, and that's from 1966. It's produced by Jack Holzman, who was looking to get away from his folky roots and actually produce a rock band. And it's a very, very nice sounding album. Sounds a lot like the Byrds. Yeah, I think they were actually friends with the Byrds for a while there. Starts off with a cover of Burt Bacharach's My Little Red Book, and also has a version of Hey Joe, a fast version of Hey Joe, much like the Byrds version. Not slow like the Jimi Hendrix version. The big song off the album is Signed DC, which is quite a haunting, very sparse sounding song. Yeah, but that was actually about the former drummer of the band, I think, who had a lot of problems with drugs. Yeah, but it's a nice sounding song. Yeah, so that's a great album, that one, Love by Love. After that one I listened to J.P. Morgan, one called Up North, and that's from 1960, and that's the companion piece to her album Down South. And it's all about the American North, songs from there. It's got Shine on Harvest Moon, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and also Lullaby of Broadway. And it's quite a nice sounding one, yeah. Okay, after that one I listened to Cliff Richard, Don't Stop Me Now. And he does a lot of covers on this one. There's a lot of horns on this album, yeah, lots of horns. It's a great high energy sounding album, this one. It's from 1967, and it's got covers of the Beatles' I'll Be Back and I Saw Her Standing There. It's got a cover of Simon and Garfunkel's Homeward Bound, cover of Bacharach's Baby It's You, and Buddy Holly's Heartbeat. Yeah. But yeah, lots of horns on this album. He also does One Fine Day, Hang On to a Dream is just great, yeah. And a cover of Tim Harden's Don't Make Promises. Yeah, so Don't Stop Me Now by Cliff Richard. That's a good one. Okay, another one I listened to was one by Frank Sinatra. This one, Sinatra Sings Great Songs from Great Britain, and that came out in 1962. And yeah, I think that's the only one only album he actually recorded in Britain. So yeah, very unusual. It wasn't released in America till much later. And it has things like The Very Thought of You, Now Is the Hour, A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square, and We'll Meet Again. So yeah, so got some great songs on that one, yeah. Okay, another one was Sonny Rollins, +4, and This one's from 1956, and it's a quintet made up of Clifford Brown on trumpet, Max Roach on drums, Richie Powell on piano, George Morrow on bass, and of course Sonny Rollins on saxophone. And yeah, there's only 5 tracks on that album, but it's very, very good. It's got things like Kiss and Run, I Feel a Song Coming On, Count Your Blessings, and Pent Up House. So yeah, it's there's 3 kind of longer tracks on that album, but yeah, it's good, that one. +4 by Sonny Rollins. Okay, next was the Kinks. The Village Green Preservation Society from 1968. Now this one is great. Yeah, it's yeah, my favourite Kinks album that I've heard. Yeah, Michael Avery on drums, Peter Quaife on bass. I think that was actually the last Kinks album that he played on anyway, Peter Quaife. Dave Davies on guitar and vocals, and of course Ray Davies on guitar, keyboard and vocals, and also Ray was the main songwriter for the Kinks. It didn't do very well on the charts when it was first released, but it's such a nice sounding album. Yeah, it's got things like Do You Remember Walter, Johnny Thunder, Last of the Steam Powered Trains, Sitting by the Riverside, Animal Farm, Village Green, Phenomenal Cat, All of My Friends Were There, and People Take Pictures of Each Other. Yeah, so yeah, there's 2 versions of the album. There's the 15-track album and the 12-track album, and they're quite different. Yeah, but yeah, I listened to the 15-track album, and that one's really, really good. Yeah, so Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. Okay, after that, Joni James, I'm Your Girl from 1962. And yeah, very, very nice, this one. She does Manhattan, Dream a Little Dream of Me, and another one, You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby. Yeah, so that's quite nice, yeah. After that one, I listened to one from Creedence Clearwater Revival. Okay, that was Bayou Country from 1969. That was actually the first of 3 albums they put out in 1969, and this is their 2nd album overall. Yeah, John Fogerty on lead guitar, Tom Fogerty, his brother, on rhythm guitar, Stu Cook on bass, and Doug Clifford on drums. And it's got Born on the Bayou. They do a cover of Good Golly Miss Molly. The best known song on the album, Proud Mary, is such a nice song, yeah. And Keep on Chooglin', yeah. So yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival, they've got such a great kind of swampy sound, yeah. He's got a real growl to his voice, yeah, that John Fogerty too. And yeah, he also plays some great harmonica on this too. Yeah, so that's Bayou Country by Creedence Clearwater Revival. After that one I listened to June Christie, The Intimate Miss Christie from 1962, and this one was very, very nice. Yeah, I really, really liked this one. It was very, very sparse, very simple, but very intimate sounding. Yeah, basically all it is accompanying her is Al Viola on acoustic guitar, and Don Bagley on double bass, and Bud Shank playing a little bit of flute. Yeah, it's a very sparse instrumentation, but very nice sounding. Yeah, on this one, she does Fly Me to the Moon, The More I See You, I Get Along Without You Very Well, and a nice version of Misty. Yeah, so that's quite a nice album from 1962. And following that, I listened to another very, very intimate sounding album. And this was Frank Sinatra's Close to You. This is one from 1957. And string arrangements by Nelson Riddle. And also, it's very, very sparse instrumentation on this one too. It's backed by the Hollywood String Quartet. And the songs are very romantic, very, very slow. I actually really like the slower Frank Sinatra songs. He's got such great enunciation in his vocals. Yeah, he just phrases everything so nicely. He's got P.S. I Love You, Everything Happens to Me, Don't Like Goodbyes, Blame It on My Youth, I've Had My Moments, I Couldn't Sleep a Wink Last Night, and The End of a Love Affair. Yeah, so the songs on that one sound very nice. Yeah, that's a good album, Close to You by Frank Sinatra from 1957. Okay, after that one was Alice Cooper. This one's his second album, Easy Action, from 1970, and it follows on from the first. It's not quite so bizarre as the first Alice Cooper record, but yeah, it's I think still trying to find their sound. I think it's not really till their third album that they really get the Alice Cooper sound. But yeah, there's 9 tracks on this album, and yeah, it's quite good. Just very, very unusual. Yeah, it's got Mr. and Misdemeanor, Shoe Salesman, things like what's that? Lay Down and Die, Goodbye. Yeah. So that's Easy Action by Alice Cooper. It's quite good. Yeah, that one has, as well as Alice Cooper doing the vocals, it has Glenn Buxton on lead guitar, Michael Bruce on rhythm guitar, Dennis Dunaway on bass, and Neil Smith on drums. Okay, following that one I listened to Sugar and Spice by Peggy Lee, and this is one from 1962, and quite a sweet sounding album. Yeah, this one. It has things like Teach Me Tonight, CC Rider, and I've Got the World on a String. Yeah, so that was quite a good album. Yeah, I quite like that one. Okay, next was one from Yes. This was the Yes album, and it's the third album by Yes. And this one is great. Yeah, I really like this one. There's a lot of Hammond B3 organ on this one. Yeah, it's got there's only 6 songs on this album. It's got Yours Is No Disgrace, The Clap, Starship Trooper, I've Seen All Good People, Adventure, and Perpetual Change. Yeah, real great prog, this one. Yeah, the Clap is an unusual one because it's actually just acoustic guitar played live, Yeah, no vocals to that one. So it's quite unusual for that album, but yeah, Yours Is No Disgrace is such a great sounding song. Yeah, he does John Anderson does such great high vocals. It's amazing how he can he sings it like that. Yeah. Starship Troopers good. It's in 3 parts, that one. Life Seeker, Disillusion and Worm. And I've Seen All Good People is divided into 2 parts. Your Move and All Good People. Yeah. Your Move, I think that one's about chess. But All Good People, when it gets to that section, it's got a really, really great rhythm, yeah, to that one. And nice sounding backing vocals, yeah. So, as well as John Anderson on vocals, there's Chris Squire on bass, Steve Howe on guitar, Tony Kaye on keyboards, and Bill Bruford on drums. So I think Steve Howe just, they got him just at the, when they were doing our previous album. And yeah, he's great on this one, yeah. So that's the Yes album from 1971. Okay, after that one, the final album I listened to was Julie London, The End of the World from 1963. And yeah, another nice one from Julie London. Obviously has the title track, The End of the World. Does a version of Our Day Will Come. She also does Fly Me to the Moon, and there's My Colouring Book, and another one, Chances Are, which is good, yeah. So, yeah, that was Julie London, The End of the World from 1963, and that was the last one, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you again next time. Yeah, bye.